welcome to the TV Stewart Facebook Live, where today we are hosting a series of mini shows leading up to our TV Stewart 2018 Yes You Can Leadership Conference. And I am so excited today to have with me today my special guest in the person of Mrs. Michelle Harding, as well as Mr. James Jacob. Mrs. Harding is the owner and president of iBrand Marketing Solutions, as well as Kingdom View Incorporation, which is based right here in the city of Houston. And Mr. James Jacob is also president, CEO, and owner of Your Life Media, which is also based here in Houston, Texas. These two amazing individuals that are joining me today, they will be a part of this year's leadership conference that we are so excited that is vastly approaching, that I wanted them to come today to give us a snippet of what those that will be attending the conference will be expecting this year, April the 11th through the 14th. But today, I wanted to pose a few questions to our facilitators, and so that those that will be coming and attending your classes will have an overview of what they can expect and what they will receive at the conference, and those that will be attending your sessions. And both of you are just individuals that God has blessed with the wealth of knowledge, and I've had a chance to work with the both of you, and I'm very impressed. That's why we invited you to the conference, with your skill sets and your knowledge and all that you bring to the table, whether you are helping churches, whether you're helping a business. You guys are very sharp and very polished, and I feel that you guys can be a great help to those individuals who are looking to launch their business, their dreams, their vision, and to do it the proper way. Okay? And so today I wanted to just spend some time with the both of you and to see if we can't use a sales pitch, if I can put it that way, to get those who are tuning in right now to come and sit in your classes so that they can gain more knowledge to be able to apply to whatever it is that they're endeavoring to do to advance their personal lives. So, Ms. Michelle Harding, can I start this conversation out with you on today?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, because I've had a chance to work with you, and I've had others who have worked with you as well and have great testimonies about the service that you provide and the knowledge that God has gifted you to be able to ascertain, to be able to be a help to so many people. I would like to ask you today, why is branding essential?
First of all, let me just say thank you for having me. Thank you for creating this forum and this platform to give people an insight on what they can receive at the conference. Awesome. I'm so excited about being back for my third year.
Wow.
And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So let me say that first. Branding essential is very important when you're looking at your gift, your talent, what you've been created to do, to give it a look, to give it a position, and to allow people to know exactly what you do, who you are, and why should they care, and how can they engage with you. So branding is that idea that you put a concept and a message behind, and then you deliver what it is that you say that you're going to do, and you give it the shaping of all of the elements of marketing and branding to give it what it needs. So when people see that image, they know what it is before they even, see you, of course.
Wow. So image is essential.
It is important, very important.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'd like to pose the same question to you, Mr. James Jacob. Why is branding essential? Just kind of jump in there and just add a little bit. Don't give us all, because we want to make sure that they have something to come and gain when they come to the conference.
Definitely. I love her definition of branding, and I think at the end of the day it's about what the perception you want the people to have. If you're a business or a ministry of a church, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, if it speaks to that, whether it's a logo, brand, logo, flyer, postcard, it needs to speak to overall mission, vision, and goal. Some people do it very, very well. I love the example of McDonald's. You can go anywhere. As long as you see those golden arches, you know exactly where you're going to.
Yeah.
So that is the same thing with branding that we need to have, the skills, is to have our look, whether it's logo, just our, it's even end of the day, when they see it, they know, okay, that is you, that is your brand, and we know you own that brand.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. And so, Mr. James Jacob, while you're on the road, you're doing such a good job. Thank you, sir, for that wealth of information. Let me just ask you a question, sir. Can branding oneself create opportunities?
Absolutely. We're living in a new world, wonderful world. We have so many things that we have resources. We have so many things at our disposal, our phones, our laptops, and things like that. And I admonish pastors and leaders that, whatever it is that you have is to research what you have. I work with a lot of pastors, and they have these iPads, and we had this phenomenon where everyone had iPads and everybody had iPads, and they use it for preaching and all these, but there's so many things it does that can help your ministry. And so definitely it's important to have and be having the forefront of your business and your ministry. It's never going to go away. Marketing is never going to go away. You're going to always, there may be tools that make it easier, but at the end of the day, it's nothing going to change about marketing and promotion. You're definitely going to have to use it. But at the same time, you want to use it effectively. The greatest thing that I've learned in marketing and promotions for any business and ministry is to make sure you take your time and not to rush things, and really have a team and focus on what matters. So that you can, at the end of the day, once you put something out there, it's hard to reverse that back.
Wow.
Once you put a brand out there, you have to now change the minds of people, whether it's logo, whatever it is. You have to make sure that you take your time to do it and have the right people there.
Well, sir, the way you answered that question, you make me want to attend your session.
Yes,
that was good. That was good. That was good. Now, I'm going to come right back to you, Ms. Michelle Harden. But Mr. Roy Jacob, James Jacob, if a person has no knowledge of ground zero marketing, can you share with them as to where they should start? Certainly.
I have this little saying, when in doubt, Google it out. I mean, again, like I said, we're living in a world of technology where the excuses of where can I find the information are completely gone. You simply can Google a lot of things. And then at the same time, it's important to have wisdom, to have people, and find the people. You be around people who know what they're doing. For me, I don't profess to know everything, so that's why I go and I find other people that do more than what I do, so I can learn and glean. And I think the first thing is to certainly research, but also find things in your neighborhood or in your communities. There's always another church that's taking the level. There's always another business that's excelling. And you can simply just ask them, hey, can I come and glean from you? Can I come and do a day and just see how you run? So that I can be able to see where are my pitfalls and also what I'm doing good.
Wow.
And so I think you can start from there so that you can be able to be effective. Again, like I said, excuses are completely out the door because we just have so many things going on. Even in the city of Houston, there's so many great things for businesses to obtain. This conference is a great way for people can glean, to network, to get to know each other, to find out, okay, what can I do to do better? How can I win? How can I win and be on the right road to win? And so you definitely, those are two things I would say that will help you if you just don't know what to do.
Well, something leaped inside of me when you said Google. I have a Google anointing.
Amen.
Because there are many times I know where I want to go, I know what I want to see, but sometimes I have a hard time finding it and finding individuals who have that wealth of knowledge. But Google has been a great navigator and a great source. And so when you said Google, my friend, something just registered within my inner being. So I concur with that information that you have just shared with our listening audience on today. Now, Mrs. Harden,
yes, sir.
You helped me, and I can say that I am so honored to have this opportunity to sit with you, and I thank God for the connection.
Yes.
Because I'm going to pose the same question to you, but I'm going to pose it adding from what you were able to do for yours truly, because I've always wanted to get on the radio.
Yes, yes.
And when the Lord connected you and I had no idea where to start, how to start. But when I had a chance to connect with you, you helped that dream become a reality.
Wow.
So I'm a living witness to those of you that are listening, that when you connect with certain people, the right people, and you don't know where to start, people who have the expertise and the experience can help you get your dream and your vision up off the ground. So I put the same question to you, and I want you to help, if you would answer that question in light of someone else that's listening, as it relates to how, if you're at ground zero, don't know where to start, who to connect to, you know, you have this wonderful idea in your head, but I'm at ground zero. Can you help somebody that's tuned in right now?
Absolutely, and I totally agree with James. It takes a team. You know, you want to surround yourself with gifted people who understand the industry. And I think that's one of the things you did. You had a desire to create a platform to gain more listeners, for people to become more aware of who you were and what you did. And I think that's one of the first things. And the second thing that people oftentimes run away from is a coach.
Wow.
You know, a coach is necessary. It's just like if you're birthing. In the birthing room, you need a doctor, you need a midwife to help you birth that baby out. Same thing, awesome. Birthing a gift out is the same thing. You know, you may not be, you know, able to understand all the particulars of the pains and, you know, everything that's going to take to get that baby delivered, but you want to make sure that you do it successfully. And one of the things that James said that's very, very true, you only get that first chance to make that first impression. So once people see and hear who you are and what you do, then they know how to engage with you. And I think platforms are everything. So someone that's starting at zero with no experience, I would say consider a consultant. And in the body of Christ, you know, sometimes we don't always see the value in that, but it's very valuable to go ahead and invest. The Bible talks about count the costs. You know, do the math that it's going to cost you to invest in marketing and services and things, and be able to position yourself so you can do it in a spirit of excellence.
TB Stewart presents to you this April the Yes You Can Leadership Conference. Make your plans now to be in Houston, Texas from April 11th through the 14th, 2018. Be prepared to shape your future and start to bring your ideas to life at this amazing, one-of-a-kind live experience conference.
God, it's empowerment. Yes, you can. I think that it begins to empower us, to enable us to begin to embrace the scriptures that God always allows us to stand on the promises of God. So I'm coming with that excitement to reaffirm my faith.
It removes those walls that we have people put all around us all the time, and we put on ourselves, that say, maybe not me, or I probably can't. This is going to help throw some dynamite out there and blow it up and say, yes, you can.
An outstanding experience, and you know, when you start looking at organization, looking at structure, looking at people who are there, I thoroughly enjoy it.
I'm sure that this conference this year is going to be a great success.
Looking forward to the conference this year?
I'm doing more than looking forward to it. I'm sitting there waiting right now. I wish it was next week.
Be on the forefront of leadership when you hear from industry leaders like Dr. Cindy Trim, Dr. E. Dewey Smith, Dr. R.A. Vernon, Gene Moore, Kathy Taylor, and Miranda Curtis will be there, as well as our special nightly musical guest. So prepare to dream again. Yes, you can. Register now.
How important is vision and marketing combined for results?
Vision is critical. Back to the Bible. Where can we, you know, stray away from?
Go ahead and preach. Go ahead.
People perish because of the lack of knowledge.
Wow.
And I believe that is connected to vision.
True.
Because we don't really write it down, and so that we have a blueprint for people. And just last night, is so ironic we having this question. I wrote my vision statement for myself. You know, things that I want to attain and be noted and be grounded in. You know, to be able to be a teacher but yet a learner at the same time.
Wow.
So it keeps you in the presence of knowing your focus for what you're going after, and as it relates to marketing, helping your clients, those ministries, to obtain the same. Because if you don't have a vision, you never know where you're going. You lose your roadmap, your way to getting to that next place as it relates to how you're going to market. So the vision statement also leads into your marketing plan. And with the marketing plan, it gives you that blueprint as to how you're going to deliver those products and services. So it's very essential that you sit back and take, and it, sometimes it doesn't come overnight. Sometimes it takes you, hashing it out with a couple of, brainstormers, having mastermind groups. I love that, doing map minding, and really going through and writing down what it is that you want to articulate, through your vision and how you're going to make it come into fruition.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So having a vision
Yes.
is very imperative if you're going to be successful
Critical.
in anything.
Yeah. Because other than that, you're all over the place.
Wow.
You're all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like to me having a vision also helps you to be disciplined.
Yes.
So you're not roaming all over the place.
Yeah. And here's something that I learned from my coach. When I tell people they need coaches, I have a coach. And one of the things that I've learned over the last 30 days was coming to necessary endings. There are some necessary endings that you have to establish in your life when you have a vision. And it's where some people, some things you have to trim out in order so that you can stay focused and true to the assignment that God has you on. And it's not a bad thing. It just says that you don't fire people, you don't get rid of them, you just release them to their destiny.
Ooh.
You just release, that thing to their destiny. Because a lot of times in business, and James can probably attest to this, we do a lot of things that probably we could trim back on to make us a little bit more successful, to do time management, or to help us manage, the people that God has set, placed in our life too. So, I think that's one of the important things is with vision, you come to understanding what those necessary endings are that you need to stop doing and do something better, do something different.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Wow. You want to jump in there, James?
Well, I mean, she has really said most of the stuff I was going to pull, but I believe definitely what you said. But to add to that is to have faith to know that your seed will grow.
Yes.
And I think that in life and journey, and you can attest to this, I'm sure that when you're doing your own business, when you see a little bit of growth, it gives you enough to kind of keep going. And so when you get that hope and that blessing, you have to keep that and recognize that is where God is taking you, and know that that's God. And so you have the faith to know that what you're sowing today is for tomorrow.
Yes.
And tomorrow may not be necessarily tomorrow. I mean, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month or next year. But the seeds we sow, we must believe and have faith to know that it's going to happen.
Awesome.
Because many times we do stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
We have a giving heart, but we don't know what it's leading to. I don't know how many times I've sold my seeds to different ministries, not knowing, even the ministry I'm working with, the church I'm working with, Church, I didn't know that first of all, I didn't even know the church. I was doing what they told me to do.
Wow.
I was doing so much work, I didn't know who I was doing work for. I was just doing the flyer and just getting it out. Not knowing they were seeing my work and talking in the conversation. But in Houston, I was in Austin, they were talking about me and I didn't even know the conversation was happening. And so you don't know what is going to happen. You just have faith to believe that, okay, the work I'm doing, that is later down the road, God is going to see that and open the door, and He's going to do that. And I believe the same thing.
Yeah.
People recognize that, we have to have faith to believe that what we're doing is working, and God is honoring that, and He's going to do it in His time.
Yeah. And one other thing, if I can just say, that I've learned about sowing a seed is don't expect the harvest from the place that you sown it to. It may not always come from the place where you sown the seed. That seed is just a representation of your investment into what you want God to do in your life personally. So if I sow a seed here, it may not come from that place, but rest for sure God is going to bring it from some other place, wherever He chooses.
Wow. I'm just going to let this canister out of the hat. There's a book in my spirit called Eventually.
Wow.
That as we continue to sow seeds and continue to serve and continue to serve and continue to sow seeds and continue to stay faithful, I believe we'll arrive at that place called eventually.
Yes.
And a lot of people want to get there instantly, but they don't want to put in the work ethics and the sacrifice and the commitment. There's a scripture that Jesus says in the book of Luke. He said, he who is not faithful over that which belongs to another, I will not bring him into his own. And a lot of times we want our own, but God traces giving you your own based upon how you invest in another man's field.
Absolutely.
And so to all of you, you desire to be business owners, I want to ask you a question. Whose dream are you faithful to? Think about that.
TB Stewart presents to you this April the Yes You Can Leadership Conference. Make your plans now to be in Houston, Texas from April 11th through the 14th, 2018. Be prepared to shape your future and start to bring your ideas to life at this amazing, one-of-a-kind live experience conference.
God, it's empowerment. Yes, you can. I think that it begins to empower us, to enable us to begin to embrace the scriptures that God always allows us to stand on the promises of God. So I'm coming with that excitement to reaffirm my faith.
It removes those walls that we have people put all around us all the time, and we put on ourselves, that say, maybe not me, or I probably can't. This is going to help throw some dynamite out there and blow it up and say, yes, you can.
An outstanding experience, and when you start looking at organization, looking at structure, looking at people who are there, I thoroughly enjoy it.
I'm sure that this conference this year is going to be a great success.
Looking forward to the conference this year?
I'm doing more than looking forward to it. I'm sitting there waiting right now. I wish it was next week.
Be on the forefront of leadership when you hear from industry leaders like Dr. Cindy Trim, Dr. E. Dewey Smith, Dr. R.A. Vernon, Gene Moore, Kathy Taylor, and Miranda Curtis will be there, as well as our special nightly musical guest. So prepare to dream again. Yes, you can. Register now.
But there are a lot of people, they put a lot of work performance into building the brand, but they killed the brand because they didn't, along the way, master the customer service. They built the brand, okay, but the customer service. Now, does that go together?
It's just like, you did good of putting the bow together, putting the pack together, but the inside, there ain't nothing in there. It's like you got a gift, but you're like, oh, what is this? So you're absolutely right. We did good for the outward appearance, but the inward, the content has to match the outer shell of the wrapping. And I agree with you. A lot of ministries are doing well because they can see, because again, we now know where to get a flyer. We know how to get, chairs. We know how to get linings and screens. We've conquered that. But now, what are you going to do with it so it can glorify God and you can see the results in it, rather than you just have it because the man next door had it.
Wow.
The business across the street had an easel, so you got an easel. But there's a reason why they had an easel. There's a reason why they position it. So you're absolutely right. We have to make sure that we're mastering the content, and we're doing what it takes on the inward stuff. So if you got an usher that's upset and mean and ornery, you need to remove them because it's affecting. People want to see love and mean when they come to the door. Choir got to be in excellence. The ministry's got to be in excellence all the way through, and we have to evaluate. I think a lot of times churches don't evaluate. In business, they do it all the time, but in ministries, we don't evaluate. And it's a good thing to evaluate. It's not negative. I don't know where this negative thing about evaluation came from, but it's not negative to evaluate. Evaluate and see where you are and what we can do better. And so, absolutely, we got to make sure that the box looks good, but the inside got to look good too.
Wow. Well, listen, James and Michelle, you guys have been exceptional. You've done an exceptional, amazing job today, and I'm so honored to have you both on our Facebook Live, TB Stewart Facebook Live show. And these two individuals, they will be sharing at our leadership conference on this year. And I know those of you that are tuned in, you've heard so much great, wonderful information that I know that has intrigued you, that has moved your heart. And also, I know you're sitting right there in front of that computer, registering right now, because you want to come and get all that these two anointed, polished, amazing individuals are going to be offering. Now, before we go off the air, Michelle, I would like you to share with our listening audience, what do you think they're going to receive for those that will be attending the conference? What do you think they're going to receive, and how will this conference benefit them?
I have been to the TB Stewards conference for the past 3 years, and it always falls in the middle of school, something going on with school, but I'm so glad that I will be able to be there the entire time this year, because that is my personal development time, from the evening services to the workshops. And I want to personally invite you guys to come to the branding workshop, because you're going to learn strategies. You're going to learn how to package, you know, that particular brand, your brand identity, your brand, how to make it go viral. You're going to learn some great things, some great tools. I think one of the things with branding is learning what are the right tools that you can use on a budget. You know, what are some of the things you can do for assessments to make sure you have the right team? What are the business formations that help you position your brand to receive the optimal, you know, momentum for where you're going? Is it nonprofit? Is it for-profit? Is it a partnership? It's so much in branding that we will be able to cover, and I'm so excited to be hosting 2 of those classes and to be a part of the conference. I know it's going to be phenomenal, because this year, yes, you can.
Oh,
yes.
I'm going to have to sneak to your class.
Yes.
I just feel it's going to be off
Yes.
the chain. James, tell our Facebook Live audience, why should they come to the conference, and especially come into your session?
I want to say this. I have been to the TBC Leadership Conference. This is my 2nd year being part of this conference, and I want to say that I've been to a lot of conferences, and a lot of conferences is full of inspiration. But I'm glad at this conference you get actually tools that you can use. Specifically, the workshop I go to, that I conduct, I've been a pastor here for so many years, and I've been to many conferences, and many of them are just inspiration, and that's okay. But we're living in a time where we need some application. We need real tools that when you walk out of this workshop, you can implement immediately. And I think between her workshop and the workshop and the many workshops at this conference, I mean, $75 it's a fraction of what you're going to get at this conference.
Well, you heard it from these 2 amazing facilitators that are here with me on today, and I'm so thankful to have Mrs. Michelle Hardin today with us, and my good friend, the one and only Mr. James Jacobs. These 2 individuals are going to be sharing April the 11th through the 14th. Those are the dates. Mark those dates down now. April the 11th through the 14th, 2018. You can go right now and register at tbsleadershipconference.com. That's www, let me put that www there, www.tbsleadershipconference.com. Now, if you want to call our office, let me give you that number as well. It is 1-800-951-4463. That's 1-800-951-4463. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. You got to get there. All roads leads to the TB Stewart Leadership Conference, April the 11th through the 14th.
TB Stewart presents to you this April the Yes You Can Leadership Conference. Make your plans now to be in Houston, Texas from April 11th through the 14th, 2018. Be prepared to shape your future and start to bring your ideas to life at this amazing, one-of-a-kind live experience conference.
God, it's empowerment. Yes, you can. I think that it begins to empower us, to enable us to begin to embrace the scriptures that God always allows us to stand on the promises of God. So I'm coming with that excitement to reaffirm my faith.
It removes those walls that we have people put all around us all the time, and we put on ourselves, that say, maybe not me, or I probably can't. This is going to help throw some dynamite out there and blow it up and say, yes, you can.
An outstanding experience, and you know, when you start looking at organization, looking at structure, looking at people who are there, I thoroughly enjoy it.
I'm sure that this conference this year is going to be a great success.
Looking forward to the conference this year?
I'm doing more than looking forward to it. I'm sitting there waiting right now. I wish it was next week.
Be on the forefront of leadership when you hear from industry leaders like Dr. Cindy Trim, Dr. E. Dewey Smith, Dr. R.A. Vernon, Gene Moore, Kathy Taylor, and Miranda Curtis will be there, as well as our special nightly musical guest. So prepare to dream again. Yes, you can. Register now.